So, I'll start with why am I running.
Okay.
I'm running. I have lived in this district since I was 4 years old. I have been.
And you're how old now?
That
If I may
part,
ask.
You may ask. I'm 64.
60 years.
Yes. And so, even going away to college, I knew I had to come back and serve my community that I call home. So my mom was an elected official in this community, Leslie Campbell. And I just come from a long line of, I would say, public servants. So even though I knew going away to college, what are you going to do? You're coming back to District 2. So I've been here for short living for 40 years now. Career 30 years, just retired last year. And my career here was an administrator at Grant High and an educator, teacher for 15, and then I was a vice principal for 15. And I really immersed myself in my students' lives. And when I retired, they still just gave me such hope and inspiration that, kids, they see greatness when you don't. And so I knew when I retired, I still wanted to be instrumental in their lives and more in their family lives, help more than just kids. And so looking around at my community and knowing the things that I've been through too, gang violence and crime and homelessness in my family and needing welfare and all that, and same with my students, I said I have to do something more. And so my more was being able to run for city council and maybe change some policies and some regulations and get some quality education going for kids and better affordable housing in this community and just really affect change in a higher level than what I could do as a vice principal. And to summarize it all, I love this community. I'm not going anywhere. I'm very passionate about all the ethnicities here, and I think we have a beautiful, beautiful communication, a beautiful community that we could make even better if we just all communicate and get together. And then actually getting somebody in that seat that's going to fight for all of us. Definitely, as me and my team are canvassing homeless, the unhoused is the number one issue, and not that it's a one size fits all, because people are out there homeless for various reasons, and I honestly don't think it's one city councilman can do it.
It's not an isolated
issue.
Right, it's not unique to District 2, right? But not by a long shot, right?
And there are some, in District 2, there are some organizations that are out here doing great things, and not, on a small level, like the Wellness Foundation. They go out every Monday and Wednesday. They feed. I've walked with them. I've witnessed them take a family off the streets, get them housing, get them jobs. And those kids are doing really good now. I've seen them at Christmas time. So I've witnessed Wellness Foundation, Mutual Assistance, Brother, they're organizations, they're on a small level, but we really, in District 2, we got to get the right person in that seat, because we have to fight higher. Then we have to get county, state, even federal dollars. We really have to get some real help in here to help us. We can't take all the homeless in Sacramento. District 2 can't. And
not get any money at the same time.
And not get any we have to get some resources. So if you're going to bring them here, bring us some resources, and somebody has to advocate for that. And you just have to say it. You really have to live here and ride around and get mad at it every day. And that's what'll make you be that advocate in that seat for the unhoused. The sweep is inhumane to me. And maybe I feel different than other people, because as I'm walking, I'm knowing people out there. I'm seeing people that I know.
How could you not?
Yes, exactly, being here that long. And there are some strangers out there. I've talked to people that they don't know anything about this community. They got dropped off here.
Well over 90% of people out the streets, though, are from Sacramento.
They are from Sacramento.
Most of them are.
And if they're here in this community, this is where they grew up. And that's, they're not walking far from where they were either put out or some circumstances made them not be able to pay rent or whatever, so they're right there near that street. But I do believe that we have to have some policies because it is growing. You know, you go down the street and then you look and there's 5 more tents. And so I believe it's an inhumane thing to sweep. But I do feel like we have to get some sustainable housing, medical, jobs, childcare for those people that are out there, and a lot of them are sick.
Well, you made a good point there. How do we expect them to go to work if they have to leave their kids on the street?
And at Grant High School, I've had babies. I go to walk to the car to get them out, and I can tell that we have lots of homeless students at Grant High. They living in their car, and your heart just breaks. And all you can do, especially as an administrator, is all the resources I can get, I find for them. Whatever it is, even to the point where those companies I told you about, like Wellness Foundation, I've called them and you guys, can you just give me overnight housing for this family? And eventually, it does turn into a better housing, and maybe they're in a hotel for 6 months or in a shelter, but I still advocate for them to get better. So right now, I still use, even myself, and I'm retired, I believe in the organization Brother to Brother and the things that they are doing right here on the boulevard. I know that people use them, they call them when they are feeling unsafe, and that's business owners as well as
you mean for security they help?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and so on the Del Paso boulevard, there are people that instead of calling the police, they will call Brother to Brother Association first. And the reason being, first of all, they'll get a faster response. And a lot of times when Brother to Brother comes out, they know that person. And so then we're not talking about the crime heightened between police officers. And so it really is a beautiful relationship between Police Officers Association and the Brother to Brother and the community on Del Paso Corridor that is used on the business owners that are using them. And they, like I was asking them, I said, I seen them guy just on the curb, and I went into the business and I said, how are things? And they said, good. And I said, everything okay outside? And she said, oh yes, and if it wasn't, I'd call Brother to Brother. But he was just laying there, not causing any trouble, but so I love that. I still believe that this community needs a great relationship with police officers and any associations like Brother to Brother. We could maybe use 1 more or 2 more. It definitely has to be a relationship building. So I don't know if everybody knows because he's a retired chief of police. But when Han first came to this community as a police officer, me, Han, and Moffitt, I was a teacher at Fairbanks in Strawberry Manors. And I lived right around the corner. We had a community policing house. So when school bell rang, we'd go down, it was on Cathcart, we'd walk down to that house and we'd have computers, activities for kids and their families could come, but it was a way to get the community to know Han and Moffitt and really get to know them and get the trust levels back in there, because our community is broke when it comes to police officers, and so we really have to build on a relationship. And it's going to take the right person in that seat that is interested in building that relationship. And I am definitely one of them because I do it all the time. Like, even though my 3 sons have been, moved around.
Young men?
Yes. 3 black men of color have been, and I don't think any of them were in the wrong place. A little bit of police brutality, I still believe I still have a faith in police officers, and I just think that it has to be community policing. So I would love for them to be cops that live here. And if they don't, how do we immerse and embrace? Because what they need to do is get to know us. So